Hi, everybody. Hey, a lot of you have been coming up with some great questions that are regarding how to do receipting and how to send your PDF receipt files and things like that. So I'm going to do a quick video that kind of just walks you through the whole system. So if you're a short-termer missionary with us, you do not have to watch this video. Your receipting goes exactly the same way it has in the past. This is just for long-term missionaries that are contracted with us. Also, this kind of pertains probably mostly to North Americans, but I would still watch it in case there's a piece of it that's helpful to y'all. So let's start at the top. A few questions that have come up are, yes, you have from the 15th to the 30th of the month to receipt the previous month. So August, you will receipt for July at the end of the month, and so on. And then you need to send in only PDFs. We can't accept zip files or JPEGs. It's hard to explain, but it's a ton of work to turn those JPEGs, they're like pictures, photographs, into PDFs. And so when you go to take a picture of those, you either need to get a scanning app or you need to go to someplace locally and have them scanned on a copier, put on a USB, and have them emailed to you. There are ways to do this. So if you get stuck with that, let Lauren and I know. Don't send us JPEGs, please, and do not send us zip files and things like that. That's just not going to work. We need them in PDF. Then that way, Joni and Sherry, it cuts way down on their bookkeeping work, and it cuts down on our work as well. If we receive those, we're going to turn around and send those back to you and ask for PDFs. And again, if you run into a problem, let us know, and Lauren or I would be glad to help you out. The next thing, too, is that you can go ahead and list your bank charges. We know that those things come up, and you're not going to have a receipt for that. Just list bank charges. I keep on file a copy of my bank statement, so that if I had to prove that, I've got a copy of it. We don't need your bank statements. They're not really actually legal binding or helpful. But just go ahead and list your bank charges. And then an exception to receipting is if you go out to the open market and you just want to total everything and have a little list of open market purchases, we need the date, what you spent, and what you spent it on. You might say, food and clothing and the date. And we realize that those aren't going to be receivable. But also remember, you can also handwrite a receipt on anything and have someone sign off on it as well. Just to help you out a little bit, I'm going to walk you through my little system. With the chart that we've given you, we want you to use this chart. Keep it very simple. It does not have to be extravagant, and we realize that for your tax purposes, this could look a little different. But that's why we have the chart totaling on the side every 3 months so that you can see your totals. But for North Americans mostly, we have to divide personal expenses from ministry expenses. Personal expenses are things such as if I decide to go out to a movie with Luke, or if I decide to buy something, go out to eat, or something like that. That's not a ministry expense. But a ministry expense is anything that involves maintaining your ministry or doing your ministry. So if you use your phone mostly for ministry, that is definitely a tax exemption. So that would go under your ministry expenses. If you buy a book and you're using it for study, for prep for something, that goes under it. A conference, travel, food, lodging for ministry things, and supplies, all of that would be a ministry expense. So that's kind of how you separate it out. Then those totals, on the personal expenses, that's what you have to pay taxes on, and ministry is what you don't have to pay taxes on. So it totals up for you every month, and then totals up every 3 months for your tax purposes if you're paying in quarterly like I am. The other thing is, just to help a little bit, every time I get a receipt, the first thing I do is write whether it's personal or ministry at the top. It sounds kind of picky, but I hate redoing work, and I hate having to dig and figure it out weeks later. And then I'll circle the amount, and I put at the top, if I can't see the date, I write the date, and I tell myself what it's for, clothes or supplies. And then I can separate my piles really easy. And I have 2 envelopes, one for the current month, one for the previous month. So if let's say I have all my receipts in August, I move them over to the previous month, and then as I start September, I can even keep the months separate. So those 2 envelopes have been really helpful to me in keeping it separate. Then I open that baby up on the 15th to the 30th, and I separate them from ministry and separate them into 2 piles, ministry and personal, and then to put them kinds alike and start adding up my food, travel, gas, whatever those totals are. And I throw it into that chart. And then what hasn't been spent, you do not, this was a question that came up, you do not have to spend all your money. You can roll that over what's unspent to the next month. So I put that at the bottom. what's been unspent. And if there's not a line, just go ahead below the chart and put it in a line underneath the month, what you have rolling over. That's okay. But please use the chart. Please do not redo the chart. This is the information we need for our legal purposes. If you want to go beyond that personally, feel free. You can do a flow chart alongside it on another document or something, but don't send that to us, please. And then the other thing is, I'm looking at my little list here. The other thing is that please, like I said before, please just send us PDFs. Don't send us the other things. We're going to have to turn around and send those back if you send us different versions like JPEGs and zip files and stuff. Lauren and I will turn around and contact you back and help you get to the PDF way of doing things when you scan your receipts or copy them. If you have any questions or problems, please let us know. We would love to help you. We're in this together. After a couple months, this will get easier, but it would help us if you could just clean that up a little bit and not send us anything but PDFs of your receipts and then your chart for the month. You can do it ongoing. Like if I did July, I add on August, September, and you can just keep resending us the chart as you add them on. Okay? Thank you. God bless you. We're with you. And again, let us know if you have any needs or questions, and we'd be glad to help you. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.